Hi, everyone. How are you? It's a pleasure to be with you this morning, this evening, or this afternoon, whenever you happen to listen to this. This is Life Boulevard. I'm Jason, and you already know who's with me. Senna and Baby Saya.
And we are the Kakpomos.
And together, today, we shall be going over questions that you should ask before you get married, containing and pertaining, yes, I said containing, to wealth. Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Wow, yes.
Good. Thank you.
I don't know how you started that. Like this is like some serious. All right, sit in my couch. Let's talk about this. These are the questions you should ask.
Question number 1.
Okay. Question number 1.
Career path.
Yes.
Are you able and open to pause yours to let the others progress? Mm-hmm. Or vice versa?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's very simple. The idea behind this is ideally, regardless of how old you are or when you meet your significant other. And of course, we did the intro to this a few episodes back about LIB. This was inspired by LIB. So a lot of us, we are in a day and age.
Love is blind for those.
Yes, love is blind. A lot of us are career driven, one way or the other, whether that career is entrepreneurship, or 9 to 5, tech, healthcare, whatever it is. We all have some career drive. So depending on where you meet your significant other, they may totally be in the depth of it, where they have already done all their schooling, all their training, and they are in the depth of it. They're doing the work. That's it. There's no other training. And even then, are they even willing to put that on pause? Even if they're done with everything and it won't harm them in any way. You may also meet a partner who is, in school or in some type of training, are you able to, or whoever is not in the training, able to understand that, yeah, you may not be able to spend as much time together in the next, couple years while they go through that training, and understand that it's not because they're ignoring you, it's just because they gotta get this done so that they can keep on living. So it's a lot of that needs to be discussed and thought about, and it's a very good way to think about the other person, because, like, for example, I was in PA school when Jason and I started dating. Actually, no. We started dating and then I went to PA school and we did the whole long distance thing. But I can tell you right now, even if we were not doing long distance relationship, like, I just could not have spent as much time with him then as I am doing now, because I was in PA school. Like, if you've been in PA school, nursing school, honestly any school, but especially healthcare programs, they run you to the ground, right? So regardless of what training your significant other is or future significant other is, you got to really have that conversation about what the expectations are, and what is needed from you, what is needed from them, whether or not one of your, if need be, say, you're talking about kids, right? Is any of y'all able to put a pause on your career, take care of the kids, or maybe go part-time while y'all figure out the kids situation, or are you just going to put the kids in daycare and you can both work full-time? All of those things are important, because one person's expectation may be, and a lot of time, depending on where the guy is from, a lot of guys tend to assume that the woman is going to stay home and take care of the children. And whoever woman you're with may not be open to that, right? And vice versa. Like, some girls may just assume that the guy will keep working and they will stay home. The guy may not want you to stay home, or the guy may also want to spend time with with the child, and they may also, maybe you both do part-time. Whatever the situation is, if you're talking about kids, it's something worth considering. And it's not necessarily that you figure it all out before the children start coming in, but it's the expectation, right? Like, what is a hard no for you? Some people refuse to not stop working. Some people, that's just their thing. They can't not work. Some people refuse to work while they have a young one at home. So you really got to get into that and consider those things when you're having the conversation about your career and your expectations for yourself and for your significant other or future significant other. Like nowadays, working from home is a bigger deal. So is that an option for you in your career path, in the type of field you're in? So all of those things are things to think about. There's no like straightforward, like this is how you should have the conversation, but you should really think about those questions in light of future engagements, commitments, and especially as far as children are concerned.
I think one piece that I would add is if you need to have additional training, because sometimes you need to learn something. You might, one big thing that we don't really talk about enough, I think, is people's passions change. You may not want to do, like a lot of us, you may not necessarily want to do what you went to school for.
That's true.
Or you may not even end up in that career, For example,
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I went to school. My undergrad was in a concentration in physical therapy. And I promise you, I'm not doing physical therapy right now.
The closest thing you're doing to physical therapy is staying fit.
That's the closest I get. But again,
and maybe the days you give me massages, I'll consider that.
Right. These are questions you got to ask. If somebody has to go back to school, are we willing to do that? Because school is time, and if you're a 2-income household, are you willing to, cross that other income off the table? Because you may not, as Cinna said earlier, depending on how intense the program is, you may not be able to work. You may have to do everything for school. So it just depends. That would be another factor I would put down on the question, list of, career paths, and really plan out as much as you can your career path and say, is this really the path for me? Because speaking from experience, I think, especially depending on where you come from, sometimes you're just so excited to be at university, for example. I'll just stick with that path, that you don't really think about, is this something I really want to do for the rest of my life? Am I even built for this? Because some people, as we spoke about earlier, some people are built for, self-employment, entrepreneurship, doing your own thing. And sometimes you don't find that out until you've done enough 9-to-5s or enough things that you just aren't coping with. And that's another thing you have to, discuss as well when it comes to wealth and finance. Are you, and I know, I'm laughing at one of our friends, she hates this word, but are you willing to build with this person while they're trying to get themselves to the place where they really want to be? Because I think there's always going to be that push and pull, you know what I'm saying? That one person that's going to be like, all right, I'll be the grind while you grind on the dream or something like that, or whatever, or the goal or the desire. And it's not always the who you think.
Right.
That's really what.
And
I
just now,
say.
because it's funny, because when you watch TV, or sometimes you may even encounter this in some of the your real life friends or what have you, wherein the real conflict, the bottom of it is that both want to stay on their career path, and yet they have a child, and yet at the same time they want to be home for the child and spend time with the child. And it's like, okay, 9 times out of 10 you won't be able to do that. If you want both, you're gonna have to do part-time on one. One has to take the precedent. Either you work full-time and only there in your child's life part-time, or you work part-time and is there full-time, as you can hear her. So that's our little one. But it's just you're gonna get help, if you're gonna hire nannies and or house cleaners, right, things like that. So it's really things, it's considerable, because career is important and you have to decide for yourself. And if you're meshing, well, in this context you're definitely meshing your life with somebody else's, to what degree does that come in? Where do we place time spent with each other and family, and where do we place career, but I think that covers that big question. I think we dive in deep enough for that question.
All right, question number 2.
Yes.
Just speaking about current income,
yes,
and being comfortable having that conversation, because I think a lot of times when we talk about bringing your life together, especially if you've been single for a minute, you're used to only answering to you. And you're used to only answering to you in a lot of different things. And one of those things is, well,
how much you make.
This is what I'm bringing in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I mean, you could be doing great. You know what I'm saying? You could be out here doing your thing, making it happen or whatever. But are you, how do you feel about messing up with somebody else who may not be doing so great, or may have student loans, or credit card pay? I mean, again, obviously,
it's vice versa, and they think what you think is enough for you. For them, it's not meeting what they consider is a standard for your stage of life or what have you. Because one person's rich is another person's broke. One person's, we got it like that, let's go on trip, is another person's, nah, we're on noodles. And we have personally found that out. And so it's important to have those conversations, like, how much are you making? Because sometimes people make this thing about, I make enough. What is enough? Enough for somebody is $40,000 a year. Another person is $400,000 a year.
Especially depending on where you live.
Right. And how you grew up, what your expectations were, all of those things, like what lifestyle you're used to living. So enough is not saying anything. You gotta be, and this doesn't have to be something at the beginning, but if we are talking in the context of LIB, towards those, middle conversations, you really gotta, let's pour it all out and figure it out. Once you file it down and maybe get down to 2 or 3 people that you're interested in, you really gotta start having this hard conversations.
I think a good question as well is, are you, obviously nobody wants this, but when let's say the chips are down or the odds are stacked against us, are you able to stand, we ain't got it like that no more, for whatever reason, for however long? Obviously you don't want to stay in that place, but hold on, y'all, we gotta take a baby break.
Hold on, let's pause this.
Take a baby break.
We take a baby break. All right, y'all, we're back from the baby commercial break.
Things are good and well.
Our sponsor is happy, drinking milk.
Very happy. But no, I mean, again, it's, some people, and I think that is a good question to ask, even going back to, how you grew up around money and wealth and questions, because some people, they look at duct tape on the car as if, we are, we are up the creek. And other people just look at it as, shoot, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's just a moment.
It's just a moment.
Right.
Oh, my hat's been taken from me.
Yeah.
It's part of dad life, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's the short way. This is the long way. Anyway. Oh, yeah.
We are walking, so we're discovering a new path. So you're going to hear us talk about paths and trails.
Things like that.
In the middle of recording.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, that would definitely be something I would discuss. And honestly, I say this, and I hope you guys know this, but I don't want to imply anything. Some of these things you won't know until you get into these situations. Hopefully, some of them you never have to get into, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we're coming up with this questionnaire, because we feel like so many people are in love with love, but you don't really fall in love with the reality of it. Because it's one thing to have the first, let's say, dates, couple months, even the first couple of years. But when you really get to it, when you really start to add in all the different pieces, and not just kids, of, hey, this is a person that I'm with, it's easier if you ask these extremely, hard questions in the beginning, because at least you can go back and say, hey, This is where we were. This is where we are. And every relationship elevates. It grows. Good and positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad. But at least you have a base and a foundation. So that's essentially what we're trying to do with this questionnaire.
Yes. And with that, we'll close this episode up because we don't want to make it too lengthy. We like keeping our episodes short. So we'll see you in the next episodes with the next questions. This is the LIB series. Specifically, we are doing the big bullet of wealth. All right. Peace out, y'all. Find a trail around your neighborhood and go on a hike/walk.